news. More than 20 fire units responding to a fire at an apartment complex just north of downtown.
It's happening right behind our KSAT studios here on West Jones Avenue near St. Mary's Street. The night team's John Paul Barajas live at the scene right now. John Paul, what are you seeing out there?
Well, there's hundreds, it looks like hundreds, just dozens of people outside right now, a lot of them with their pets. The good news is they're being allowed back inside. Joe Arrington, a fire spokesman for SAFD, told us that a fire started on the first floor and then started spreading up the building. Luckily, they got a quick call and they responded quickly and they were to put it out. So only one apartment is damaged. One person is displaced. The one person is displaced. They were able to extinguish everything, so everybody was evacuated as a precaution. So just a very chaotic scene. As Tim said, more than 20 units. I think we heard at least 30 actually were here responding. But the good news, no injuries, no fire injuries, no injuries to firefighters, no injuries to people who were escaping. And we also heard from a person who was actually running out of the building as everything was unfolding. Let's hear what they had to say.
I grab my computer, the most valuable things, and I walk out of the apartment and I see the hallway is absolutely filled with smoke. So I take a step back, I take a deep breath in, hold my breath, and I run through the fire. By the grace of God, I got out of there safe.
You could hear it there, very chaotic, very scary scene. Again, the good news, no injuries, everything's been put out. Hopefully this scene will be cleared in about an hour, according to Joe Arrington. But there is still some bad news. A lot of people are still looking for their pets. We saw one woman in tears, very distraught. She was actually just reunited with one dog. We tried to approach her to talk to her, but she was upset because she was still missing a second dog. We actually talked to another person who was coming home from coming out, having drinks. He said he got here, he had a cat inside. They weren't allowed to go back inside. He just went upstairs to the 6th floor to see if the cat's still there, if the cat's been escaped. So lots of questions to be answered. A lot of people still here looking to try to find their loved ones, their pets. But the good news is right now, no injuries, and this scene should be cleared out within the hour. As soon as we get more information, we'll bring that to you. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Meanwhile, spring is in the air, and in fact, today marked the start of the new season, and there are a few things we can always count on during spring: fiesta, oak pollen, and severe weather.
Yeah, of course. And I think we already have a lot of that oak. But tomorrow will bring our very first chance of severe weather. Meteorologist Katie Blake has been keeping an eye on this for us all weekend. Katie, what's the main thing people should know?
I think it's the timing for when we could see severe storms on Monday, and that's going to be during the afternoon and evening hours. The window that we want to give you to kind of keep in the back of your mind, 4 to 8 p.m. on Monday. But that's not the only time tomorrow that we have chances of rain. First thing in the morning, there will be some scattered rain around, but any rain through the morning hours through about lunchtime will not be severe. Again, the window for severe storms starts around 4 p.m., lingers through about 8 o'clock in the evening. Rain chances taper off overnight. By Tuesday morning, the sun will be out. As far as specific threats from any storms tomorrow afternoon and evening, pretty much everything is on the table with the exception of flooding, because these storms will be moving quickly. We're not worried about flooding, but we could have some rotating supercell thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening, and that brings in a high concern for some large hail. Also a risk for some tornadoes and damaging non-tornadic wind gusts. We've got a lot to talk about. I'll break it all down for you coming up in the full forecast. That'll be along in just a bit, guys.
Thank you. Two historic churches left with the scars of a break-in and vandalism. The suspects not yet caught. The targets, Mission San Juan and Mission Concepcion.
The night team's John Paul Barajas spoke with parishioners earlier from both of those churches to see how they're holding up and what steps they're taking next.
Church is a place of worship and where so many of faith go to find peace. Two historical churches at San Antonio's Missions had some of that peace stolen after they were vandalized.
It's sad. I mean, I don't know why people would want to do that. These are churches, you know. Why would anybody want to come in to vandalize these 5 missions? These 5 missions that we have here are national treasures here in San Antonio. It's very important to preserve our history.
Art Valdez is an usher at Mission Concepcion. He explained the mission's history dates back to the early 1700s. The historical churches bring people to visit from all over the world, like this couple from the north.
We were very impressed. We went to Mass at St. Concepcion, and we enjoyed it because we don't have mariachi music very often in South Dakota.
Good thoughts that somebody would do that type of thing.
There's just evil in the world.
Between March 12th and 17th, someone tried to break into Mission Concepcion. They were unsuccessful and ended up carving the names of 2 Mexican generals from the Mexican Revolution, one of which being Pancho Villa on the church doors. Mission San Juan's deacon Carlos Marquez says they weren't as lucky.
They made away with the door handle, which was all brass and antique, so that's very valuable.
Mission San Juan does have security cameras that overlooks the park, and National Park Services is going to be reviewing that because it's pointed directly at the door. The deacon says the suspect kicked in to gain access. This now a temporary replacement door.
This person didn't have enough time to take anything from the church and just left right away when the alarm came on.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Bexar County deputies say a robbery suspect is in custody thanks to a quick-thinking homeowner who slashed the tires of the suspect's getaway vehicle. 50-year-old Eduardo Saucedo is charged with aggravated robbery. The incident happened at a home in Sandy Oaks when deputies found Saucedo allegedly rummaging through belongings inside of a home. He ran off, but a homeowner confronted him, allegedly threatening him with the knife, and got into his vehicle. Before he was able to take off, deputies say the homeowner slashed one of the vehicle tires with the machete. Saucedo's bond is set at $75,000.
Taking a look now at other stories we've been following this Sunday. Bexar County deputies are investigating a shooting where a man showed up to a hospital wounded and later died from his injuries. Investigators learning that shooting happened on Briggs Road. That's in far south Bexar County. Deputies say 3 men drove the 20-year-old man to the hospital after he was shot. They believe that shooting stemmed from a gathering there on Briggs Road. Over 16 shell casings from a shotgun and a pistol were found at the scene.
So hopefully we'll be able to learn something about our suspect from the evidence that was recovered.
BCSO investigators gathering statements from witnesses, and the search for the suspect is ongoing. The case remains under investigation.
Arson investigators are looking into what caused $20,000 worth of fire damage to a house on the northeast side. Crews say the back deck caught fire, causing it to spread to the home. The people inside were able to escape safely. Fire crews were able to get the fire out before it spread to the inside of the home. Thankfully, no injuries were reported.
Happening around Texas, Austin police say a recent downtown shooting was a targeted situation and the public has nothing to worry about. 4 people were shot and injured overnight. That incident happened around 2 o'clock this morning. Witnesses tell and nearby police officers heard the several shots in that area. Austin police officials say officers were able to respond quickly due to an increase in security for the weekend because of the South by Southwest. 1 person was taken into custody in connection with that shooting. Austin PD believes the incident is related to a disturbance between 2 groups of people.
Raging wildfires in central Texas couldn't stop a congregation from praying together today. The fires scorched their church, so they just moved services outside. This was the scene this morning in Ranger, about 100 miles west of Fort Worth. Roaring flames filled the downtown area and engulfed historic structures, including the police department building and the 100-year-old church. Those attending the outdoor service say they were just glad to be able to still worship together.
Sticking with the wildfires now, throughout the state, about 54,000 acres have been burned so far. That's according to the Texas A&M Forest Service. Last night, fire crews able to contain one of the fires in Eastland County, which is about 120 miles west of Dallas. That area has been hit the hardest by those fires. And now 2 more counties have issued evacuations as the wildfire continues on its path of destruction. That fire said to be about 30% contained now.
Now to an ultimatum from Russia. The warning Vladimir Putin is giving the people of one city as shelling continues throughout the country.
Plus the refugee crisis. 10 million people now displaced from their homes, according to the UN. President Joe Biden set to meet with NATO allies.
Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert in New York.
As shelling across Ukraine continues, an ultimatum from Russian military commanders. Russia giving Ukrainian forces in Mariupol until 4 a.m. local time to surrender. A senior Russian commander saying local authorities, including the mayor, will face a military tribunal if they do not lay down their arms. This amid reports of another attack on civilians, a Mariupol school where 400 people were sheltering. Most of the city is in ruins. Up to 300,000 are trapped. Some in Mariupol are worried about essentials like food and firewood. University librarian Irina says, "We have been in a basement for 11 days. This is the 25th day of war. We have been counting every one of them. We hope for the best to live as humans." The UN says 10 million Ukrainians are without a home, nearly a quarter of the country's population, nearly 3.4 million refugees fleeing to neighboring countries, another 6.6 million displaced within Ukraine. In Warsaw, Poland, for the most vulnerable, a rare moment of normalcy. Ukrainian refugee children playing and later coming together to sing. A chance to forget the war and family left behind to fight in it.
All these activities, such things that all people are doing for us, they forget about their daddies who are there, who are fighting.
And as refugees continue to flee, President Joe Biden heads to Brussels this week to meet with NATO and G7 leaders. He will not be stopping in Ukraine. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, the 75th annual Poteet Strawberry Festival is just a little more than a month away now, and we know who the performers are that you'll expect to see there. Some top names include Sarah Evans, Kevin Fowler, and Randall King. In total, 13 artists and bands will perform over the 3-day-long festival. Tickets already on sale, which includes the performance. We have a link right now where you can purchase those tickets on our website at KSAT.com. The Poteet Strawberry Festival runs from April 22nd to the 24th.
Well, she beat out more than 300 art students from San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Southside High School student Isabella Carvajal won this year's Battle of Flowers art contest. This was the event's 16th year. The theme this year was Viva las Flores. The winner gets the opportunity to have their artwork featured on 10,000 souvenir programs, along with a cash prize. Isabella says art has always just been a hobby for her, so she's grateful to her teacher who encouraged her to join the contest.
I've been in her class for about 3 years already, and she's kind of seen me grow a little bit and change, and I'm really glad that I went through that with her. You know what I mean? It was really nice, really fun experience. She's a good teacher.
Sounds like she is. This year, Fiesta is back on schedule starting on March 31st. That's just 11 days from now, and it'll end on April 10th. For more Fiesta-related coverage, just head to KSAT.com. The struggle to buy a house likely won't be slowing down anytime soon. See how much mortgage rates are rising and why. Plus, if things don't change in Ukraine, millions of Ukrainians could become homeless in the coming weeks. The efforts to help those who have escaped the war.
And next on the Nightbeat, we'll introduce you to a woman who not only saved a life, but made a lifelong friend. See how they continue to share the special moments of life together.
Well, for many people needing stem cell or bone marrow transplants, it's their last chance of survival.
And finding a match for a donor is often a 1 in a million shot. The Night Team's Lee Waldman spoke with a nurse at the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center who was able to give the gift of life while also gaining a friend for life.
Every day for the last 7 years, Dorothy Dot Ward has called the apheresis center at South Texas Blood and Tissue Center her office.
What we actually do is collect peripheral blood stem cells from donors that have become a DNA genetic match for patients.
The patients in need of this type of treatment, it's usually their last hope.
When a match is found, it's like winning the lotto.
Dot became a donor when she started working here as a phlebotomist 22 years ago. For 6 years, she sat on the list waiting to see if she was someone's life-saving match. Suddenly, in 2004, it came.
Her name is Gemma.
Gemma was diagnosed with leukemia at 14. She received treatment and went into remission before the cancer came back with a vengeance. She needed a bone marrow transplant quickly.
Am I going to find a donor? Am I going to survive?
Until she was matched with Dot, almost 5,000 miles away. Suddenly, Gemma had a future, one she wanted Dot to be a part of.
I'll never forget this day. In 2018, I received a text message that to join Gemma on Skype. From then to now to this date, we are in touch and we will always be in touch from now on.
Gemma had one more surprise for Dot.
Gemma was telling me that she was recently engaged. She would like for me to attend her wedding.
After 2 years of COVID delays, Dot and Gemma finally met in person.
It was very emotional, very, Overwhelming.
Days later, on March 5th, 2022, Dot watched as Gemma married the love of her life.
Not forgetting her donor, Dorothy, who is literally a lifesaver.
We have this saying where she says, I am you, and I was like, and you are me.
The two separated by an ocean.
Goodbye. See you later.
Now bonded for life.
Dot tells me that Gemma inspires her to be better every day, pushes her to be a better nurse. If you would like to sign up and become a donor like Dot is, come over to KSAT.com. We have a link for you to do that there. You'll just have to fill out a few questions. They'll send you a mouth swab, and then you'll be on your way to potentially saving a life. Back to you.
Something simple we can all do. Thank you, Lee. Take a live look outside with live cam tonight. Pretty quiet right now. We're expecting some severe weather, but can we just take a moment and appreciate the first not full day of spring, but spring happening today. And man, those buds are really popping out there. The mountain laurel, the red buds.
It's almost like they knew. It's just right on time.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that today as well. And as the seasons change, our forecast focus changes from any talk of freezes and cold weather to the potential for severe weather, not uncommon for spring. Here's a look at your Monday. We've got everyone heading back to work and school. Spring break, unfortunately, it's over. And here's what your commute forecast looks like tomorrow. In the morning, good chance you'll run into some rain, but no severe weather early in the day. It's the afternoon and evening commute that could feature some severe weather. And this is particularly for those that live along 281, or excuse me, those that need to travel along 281 or I-35 tomorrow afternoon and evening, because that's where the best chance for severe weather will be. As far as specific storm threats, just the way our atmosphere will be stacked tomorrow, pretty much everything with the exception of flooding is on the table. The biggest concern will be for some large hail, a high risk for large hail, some of which could be bigger than 2 inches in diameter. That's going to be pushing the size of a lime, even a little bit bigger than that. Also, again, just because of the things we'll have working in the atmosphere, we could have some rotating storms tomorrow. That means tornadoes will be possible. We could also have some non-tornadic wind gusts above 60 miles per hour. Lightning certainly could accompany any thunderstorms, will accompany any thunderstorms. Outages should be isolated. And again, because these storms will be moving very quickly, we're not concerned about flooding. If you don't have the KSAT Weather Authority app and you got your phone in your hand right now, you're watching the screen, just hold the camera, open the camera, and hold it up to this QR code here. That will take you to a download link for the KSAT Weather Authority app. This will allow you to get severe weather alerts, forecast updates, but also potentially watch any live streams that the weather team will be doing during the day on Monday as this potential severe weather is unfolding. You can also send us your weather photos and video. That's going to be a great resource to have not only tomorrow for this severe weather chance, but also for the rest of the spring. This is our big severe weather season, the spring months here. 65 currently at the airport, 64 in Comfort. You probably noticed some changes this evening. A lot of clouds have moved in and it's still breezy. Our winds continue to be sustained between about 10 and 20 miles per hour. It's that south wind that has started to bring back the humidity, and it will be muggy by tomorrow. That's part of our setup for severe weather. The storm system that will bring us the rain tomorrow morning, storms tomorrow afternoon, is here over the desert southwest. This is a strong upper level low. The upper level winds here on the east side of this low pressure system will provide the lift that we need to get rain and severe weather going. We've also got our other ingredient moving in overnight. A lot of moisture, very muggy air will be moving in overnight. These two things meet up tomorrow across the state of Texas, and that sets us up for severe weather across Texas on Monday. This will be a dynamic system, a lot going on, a warm front, a cold front, but the feature that will bring us our chance for severe weather tomorrow afternoon is this yellow line. This is a dry line. It separates really dry air from very muggy air. Thunderstorms love that contrast, and it's very typical for storms to develop along the dry line. And that's what we're looking at heading into tomorrow afternoon. Again, it can't be overstated when you're driving to work in the morning, getting the kids out to school. Scattered rain is likely, but no severe weather in the morning. In fact, we should pick up a lull in rain chances around lunchtime into early afternoon. But look, by 4 p.m., here comes that dry line feature. Where this dry line sets up across our area tomorrow afternoon will determine where thunderstorms pop up. This FUTURECAST model I'm showing you usually does a pretty good job in these types of situations, and you can see by 4 p.m. there's Highway 281 into Blanco County through a portion of Comal County here, and that is where we expect the dry line to kind of park itself tomorrow afternoon, such that that's where storms will pop up initially as early as about 4 p.m. In that type of situation, parts of West Bexar County, you guys might not see any severe weather. So this is what we'll be watching really carefully throughout the day tomorrow. Mike in the morning, Justin in the morning, Adam will be sending forecast updates about the position of this dry line because that determines where the storms start and then where they move throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Again, morning hours, just some rain, no severe concerns. The severe weather window, 4 to 8 p.m. on Monday. Good news, after this, rest of the week looks nice and quiet, guys.
How quickly things can change.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take the rain if we can get it, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie. We'll have a preview of Instant Replay right after this. The San Antonio Spurs tip off a 4-game road trip tonight in San Francisco after playing arguably their worst game of the season against the team they have to catch. With more of what's on Instant Replay, let's check in with our Greg Simmons.
That was a terrible game tonight. It was an exciting game, but it shouldn't come down to the last second shot. And who's headed to San Antonio for the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament? Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
And here comes the heave.
Vassell.
It's good.
It is good. Our San Antonio Spurs are in San Francisco, where they open up a 4-game road trip against the Golden State Warriors without injured Steph Curry. How did they do? We will show you, and we'll update you where the Spurs stand in the West and who they face next in our segment, Know Your Foe.
And he's back. Another three.
Villanova is one of the teams headed to San Antonio for the Sweet 16, who is also joining Jay Wright and the Wildcats in the AT&T Center starting on Thursday. And after Baylor was upset, while other Texas teams are left in the NCAA tournament and also headed to the Alamo City, we will show you.
Career high 27 points earlier in the season. They want to get her going, but Aaliyah Moore, you mentioned it. You get to start the second half with play like that.
And can both Texas and Baylor survive and move on to the NCAA women's tournament to their own Sweet 16? We got that for you as well. All that plus, SAFC plays their first road game of the season. A very popular comedian is showing support for one of our local teams. And do you think the Browns trade for the Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson was a fair deal tonight? You decide. Instant Replay is live and is right after the Nightbeat.
Lots of thoughts on that one. None of them acceptable for TV right
Exactly. Got to keep those to yourself.
Thanks, Greg. Well, not Instant Replay, but the Nightbeat continues right after this. Welcome back. A fatal shooting at a car show in rural Arkansas today. Authorities say at least one person has been killed, 24 wounded, including children.
Preliminary information suggests the shooting was a result of a gang-related fight that spilled into a public area. ABC's Elwin Lopez reports tonight one person is in custody.
Authorities in Arkansas searching for answers after chaos erupted at a car show in rural Arkansas about 90 miles from Little Rock. People running for their lives amid the sound of gunfire.
The bottom line on this is just two individuals got in a gunfight. It was no mass shooting.
Hey, shot the baby, bro.
People flagging down an ambulance, helping one victim to safety. The car show, part of a weekend event by a community foundation. Wallace McGehee, one of the organizers, was there.
This had never happened with us in our event ever, and just something like this to happen, man, it's a tragedy, and we want to let everybody to know that we did this here for 16 years without a problem, you know what I mean? And we want our community to come back, be strong.
Again, it's shocking. We have a small community, a farming community in Dumas, 5,000 people, and then we have an incident of multi-victims. It's just, you don't expect that from small town Arkansas.
Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Atlanta.
Two new CDC studies show COVID vaccines remained highly effective even during the Omicron surge. The studies released shows a vaccine still protected well against hospitalization, ventilation, and death from COVID-19 infections. At the peak of the Omicron variant, data showed unvaccinated adults were 12 times more likely to be hospitalized than adults who had received both vaccinations and a booster. For people who received 3 vaccine doses, including that booster, efficacy was 95% for the Delta variant and 94% for Omicron.
Now to the human cost of Russia's war. The United Nations saying nearly 10 million Ukrainians have either fled the country or been displaced inside of it.
The bulk of the refugees now heading to Poland, and there's a new process there to help them. ABC's Victor Oquendo has more.
This morning, the worsening crisis, the speed and scale of Ukrainians fleeing or losing their homes showing no signs of slowing. More than 3 million have left the country so far, another 6.5 million displaced within Ukraine, nearly 10 million people now homeless.
We need to adapt to new life.
They're spreading throughout Europe to neighboring countries like Moldova and Slovakia, but the majority, more than 2 million refugees, coming to Poland, where our team saw thousands officially begin new lives, waiting to apply for the equivalent of a social security number at the national stadium.
Why was it so important to get that PESEL number?
I need PESEL for many things. I need work, for money, for bank account, for staying here in Poland until the war ends.
So far in Poland, more than 123,000 Ukrainians have received their PESEL numbers, which grant them access to legally find work, apply for a mortgage, send their child to school, or something as minor as receive a monthly public transportation pass. Inside the stadium, refugees bring their documents, fill out the paperwork, take new photos, and if approved, walk away with their new numbers within hours.
We have about 100 stalls here. For now, maximum number of people that can be processed one day is about 1,000.
Olena registering her son Ahad for his new ID number. She'd been working in Poland when the invasion began, while her older son Nazad studied at a Polish school. Still in disarray after being separated from them, she's now planning their future in Poland.
Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Warsaw.
Ukraine's population is about 44 million people. So far, as we said, 10 million people have been displaced. So if the war keeps up, soon 1 in every 4 Ukrainians could be homeless.
A recall alert to tell you about now. The FDA asking consumers to check their 3-ounce and 10-ounce bottles of Jergens Ultra Healing Moisturizer. It's possible those bottles could be contaminated with a bacteria that could cause infections in people with weakened immune systems. The Jergens products that are a part of that recall have a lot code on the back or the bottom of the bottle that starts with the letters ZU. The manufacturer is working to remove the products from warehouses and asking retailers to pull the product from shelves.
With the start of spring this weekend, crowds of people walking along the tidal basin got to see a new batch of cherry blossoms. This year marks the return of in-person events for the Cherry Blossom Festival, which officially starts today in Washington, D.C. Organizers moved everything virtual for the last 2 years because of the pandemic. With the cherry blooms in stage 5 out of 6, known as the puffy white stage, the National Park Service says peak bloom could come early next week. I didn't know there were 6.
I didn't
Did
either,
you?
but I know it's now officially spring once those guys pop out.
It is.
It is.
Even in Washington.
It's happening. We've got that. We've got the Oak Fiesta is starting. The medal giveaway started, and tomorrow features our first chance of severe weather in what feels like a really long time, and technically our first severe weather risk of the spring season. Today, some changes started to kick in, especially late in the day. A lot more clouds started to move in. Humidity is on its way up, and it's that humidity, more moisture, that plays into our chance for severe storms on Monday. Our window, 4 to 8 p.m. Monday afternoon and evening. I'll walk you through FUTURECAST once again so you know exactly what to expect coming up in just a little bit, guys.
Thank you, Katie. Still ahead on the Nightbeat. The Dark Knight still dominating the box office. See if a couple of new movies were able to make their mark and knock out the Batman from first place.
And next on the Nightbeat, we're talking about the housing market. And spoiler alert, things are not looking good. Why we're seeing record-breaking mortgage rates. Coming up. Well, if you're in the market for a new home, this isn't news to you. You've seen the rising mortgage rates. For the first time since 2019, a 30-year mortgage rate went higher than 4%.
And get this, there are about 1.4 million real estate agents nationwide, but there are currently less than 300,000 homes on the market right now.
Yeah, here's a breakdown of the challenges getting in the way of first-time home buyers.
The pandemic, working from home, record low borrowing rates, and historically low inventory, some of the factors keeping the housing market on a tear. The national conversation is so compelling that looking for homes online may be a new hobby for some people. Zillow says homes are moving off the market in just 11 days on average, compared to 25 days in 2020. One Dallas realtor seeing prospective buyers going to extremes to secure a home.
We had a buyer under contract on one of our listings, and another buyer came along and offered them $50,000 to go away so they could buy the house.
It's crazy nowadays. People are selling homes with no contingencies, no appraisals, no inspections, nothing. That's not something that I really want to compete in.
For those who see the frenzy and would rather sit out, renting may seem like the short-term answer, but there's often no relief in renting either.
Rental rates are in some cases going through the roof. 20%, 30%. I've seen landlords increase rent even above that.
For Ryan Kay and his family, it's about having a roof over their heads and one that's tailored to their needs.
Right now, we don't have a backyard. We're renting, and the place we have doesn't have a yard that we would like for our dog and our daughter.
The government reports wholesale inflation in the U.S. shot up 10% last month compared to the year prior. However, the report did not include price changes after February 15th, missing a spike in energy prices when Russia invaded Ukraine 9 days later. So it's already happening. The severe weather is being forecast, and you guys you're going to be working really hard over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be a situation tomorrow that our severe weather risk comes during the afternoon and evening commute, especially along the 281 and I-35 corridors. And this severe weather risk is going to go all the way up to Austin, Central Texas, East Texas. So you're going to be hearing a lot about this severe weather event tomorrow because it will affect a good portion of the state. And I'm going to run you through again what you can expect here locally tomorrow. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s, and I don't think they'll drop very much more overnight. We've had a lot of cloud cover move in that will be persistent through the overnight hours. That, along with the steady breeze, will keep our temperatures from dropping much overnight. Storm system that brings us the risk of severe weather tomorrow is spinning here over Arizona and New Mexico, spinning counterclockwise, producing some precipitation there. This is a nice deep dip in the jet stream with some very fast mid and upper level winds. This storm system will provide a lot of lift over Texas tomorrow. That's one ingredient we need for rain and severe weather. The second ingredient is moisture. That's working its way back in currently. It's going to start to feel a lot more muggy overnight, and you will notice it by the time you walk out the door in the morning. So this is our severe weather setup, not just here locally, but also for the entire state of Texas. This will be a dynamic low pressure system that will bring a few waves of severe weather across the state. One due to this warm front there, another with the cold front, and another with this yellow line, which is the dry line. We'll talk more about that very shortly, but I wanted to kind of put this storm system over top of the severe weather chance for Texas tomorrow, and you can kind of see how it fits in very nicely with the placement of this low. The biggest concern for the most severe weather is this bright red color that is just northeast of San Antonio. It includes Austin, Houston, Huntsville, Waco, up to just south of Dallas and Tyler. That's where numerous severe thunderstorms will be possible. Let's get back in a little bit closer. Again, that higher risk here, numerous severe storms possible, includes places like New Braunfels, Seguin, Gonzales, and Hallettsville. So generally speaking, those east of 281, east of 35, north of I-10 should expect the best chance and the most in terms of severe weather tomorrow, but that doesn't mean everyone else is completely out of the picture. Again, a big key is going to be the dry line that moves in tomorrow. Let's go through FUTURECAST again. This is tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Overcast, muggy with areas of scattered rain. That scattered rain will continue through the morning commute. As we get closer to lunchtime, it will start to pull north, and we should be able to pull off a little break in the rain. There still could be some isolated showers out there, maybe a weak storm, but generally speaking, expect a lull in rain chances through early afternoon and even a little bit of clearing. If we see some sunshine, that will help to destabilize our atmosphere more, and that would actually up the chance and the intensity of any storms that pop up in the afternoon. Here's 4 p.m. This is when we really need to start paying attention tomorrow, 4 p.m., because that's when the dry line is expected to scoot in, and that's when we could start to see thunderstorms fire off of the dry line. As soon as we start to see storms develop tomorrow afternoon, they will quickly intensify. Again, here's why we're really emphasizing that Highway 281 and even the I-35 corridor. This is 5 p.m. This is rush hour, okay? And we've got thunderstorms capable of producing large hail, potentially even some tornadoes right along that I-35 281 corridor. They'll pop up. They'll continue to move east through 6 p.m. We're talking places like Gonzales, Nixon, down into Karnes County, 6 to 7 p.m., even farther east into places like Hallettsville and Cuero. Then overnight, things start to settle down. The cold front will brush through, and rain chances will come to an end by early on Tuesday. Again, just the way our atmosphere is stacked tomorrow, we're talking all different types of severe weather possible. The biggest concern is large hail, but storms could rotate tomorrow. That means we've got the potential for some tornadoes. I don't say that to scare you. I'm just being honest with you. We've got to watch for everything tomorrow, with the exception of flooding, because these storms will be moving by so quickly. Flooding is not, expected to be an issue. And one more thing I really want to hammer home here. Morning rain, not severe. So do not stress out about the rain that's around in the morning. Be weather aware by the afternoon and evening, because that is our severe weather window. Weather team's going to be here to keep you updated all day long. Best thing you can do, have that KSAT Weather Authority app. Make sure you have a way to get severe weather alerts. After tomorrow, rest of the week looks real nice, sunny and seasonable, guys.
I will be there with you. We'll be reporting on this all day tomorrow. Thanks, Katie.
We'll be right back.
What is your deal, man?
Dog rode into 5th place in its 5th weekend in theaters, grossing $4.1 million. The slasher film X expanded to wide release and made $4.4 million for 4th place. Uncharted fell to 3rd, but collected $8 million for a domestic total of $126 million. The anime adventure Jujutsu Kaisen 0 debuted in 2nd place, opening strong with $17.7 million.
What are you saying, Kinsey Moon Knights with a big win?
The Batman crossed the 300 million mark in domestic grosses, topping the chart for a 3rd straight weekend with $36.8 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Now that the Spurs have faced the Golden State Warriors, next up is the Portland Trail Blazers, and we'll get you ready for that game and know your foe.
And what is going on with the Cowboys this offseason, trading their star wide receiver and letting 2 of their top offensive linemen sign with other teams? With more on what's in Instant Replay, let's head to Greg Sibbons. What's going on?
That's the question everybody's asking. What are you guys doing? Is it just one and done from last year? All right. And not only did San Antonio FC win their first home game of the year, now their first road game of the season, coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
Durant turns it over, Dunn saves it, was able to bounce off the scores table. Winslow lays it in, plus the foul.
Now that the Spurs have finished their first game of the 4-game road trip in San Francisco, next up the Trail Blazers in Portland, who are in a rebuilding year. In fact, they will play the Blazers 3 times in the next 10 days, including back-to-back at home to open up April. We'll get you ready for the big showdown in Know Your Foe.
Wow. And their first opportunity on net, Lorea finding the back of the net, and it is 1-0 San Antonio FC.
San Antonio FC is off to a great start this season. They won their home opener at Toyota Field, and even better, their first road win this weekend. Larry Ramirez will be along shortly to tell you why that is such a big deal. And fans want to know what is going on with the Dallas Cowboys this offseason, trading away Amari Cooper, letting Connor Williams, and most recently tonight, Lael Collins signing with another team. The sports guys want to know as well. All that plus who's headed to San Antonio for the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. And the Missions welcome back to Texas League. Instant Replay is live, and it's next. We didn't like the name they went by last year, the Central Something League. We didn't like that. Texas League is back.
We're going to fix that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back.
Finally tonight, something good.
Yes, along the walls of the In Memoriam exhibit at Ground Zero in New York City, only 2 portraits of the fallen have remained missing among 2,983.
One of Antonio Dorsey Pratt and one of Albert Ogletree. That changed today for Ogletree. Ogletree was 49 years old, working at 40 Foods when the North Tower fell.
An employee who works at the museum became so interested in every story behind the pictures, she made it a goal to find the last 2. After weeks of searching through old yearbooks, Ogletree's stepdaughter verified that photo.
And finally tonight, Justice Clarence Thomas is hospitalized after experiencing flu-like symptoms. We are learning he was admitted to a hospital in Washington, D.C. However, it is not COVID related. We'll keep an eye on that.
All right. That is all of our time for now. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune into GMSA for all your latest overnight news.
An all-new instant replay starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Instant Replay. Here's hoping you enjoyed your spring break after playing their worst game of the season in the 124-91 blowout loss to the team they had to beat, the New Orleans Pelicans. Now the Spurs only have 11 games left in the regular season to make up for that big mistake. Now trailing by 2.5 games for the 10th and final playoff position. The work begins tonight as the Silver and Black tip off a 4-game road trip against the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco on game day. Spurs need to take advantage of the fact the Warriors have lost Steph Curry for the rest of the regular season after suffering a sprained left foot in the 110-88 loss to the Celtics. And San Antonio takes control early on the opening possession as a result. Joshua Primo finds Jakob Poeltl driving to the slam and a quick 2-0 lead. A few plays later, Primo finds Devin Vassell. This is for a corner 3, and the Spurs open up on a 6-0 run. They keep it going. Zach Collins finds Primo cutting to the basket for the one-handed jam. 29-16 Spurs, and Collins ends the quarter with a straightaway 3, but the Spurs up 36-22 after 1. Second quarter, Trey Jones helps keep the Warriors at bay with a corner 3. Then after a steal, Vassell misses a layup, but Jones is there for the follow and draws the foul. 6 straight points for Jones makes it 55-45 Spurs. Now the Warriors cut it to a 3-point game. Vassell knocks down a 3 at the buzzer, and the Spurs head into halftime with a 63-57 lead. Third quarter, Spurs keep the Warriors at arm's length. Keldon Johnson answers a Golden State 3 with one of his own for a 6-point lead. Then a big blow to Golden State midway through the quarter. Draymond Green gets hit with his second technical foul. He's ejected for arguing with the officials. San Antonio takes advantage. DeJounte Murray knifes his way to the basket to make it 81-71 Spurs. Timeout Golden State, but the Warriors regroup, close the quarter on a 10-0 run. They lead 84-83 heading into the fourth quarter. In the fourth, Josh Richardson caps a 10-2 Spurs run with a 3-pointer from 30 feet away. It's 101-92 San Antonio, but the Warriors did not go away. In fact, they lead 108-107 with 3 seconds to play, but on the missed free throw attempt, Jakob Poeltl is fouled by Kevon Looney, so the Spurs still have life. Poeltl heads to the line, hits the first to tie the game at 108, but he misses his second attempt. Keldon Johnson is there for the rebound and the putback with 0.3 of a second left to play. That would prove to be the game winner. Here is your final score. The Spurs pull out this win, 110-108 to improve to 28-44. Let's hear it from Keldon right now.
I had faith he was going to make it, but I was like, just go for it. Even without a doubt, just go for it. And, I crashed in, and I think somebody tipped it. And I just grabbed it and turned around and put it up. I was like, man, the main thing when I grabbed it, I was just like, I just want to get it off in time. Get it off in time, give me a chance to, win. So, I just crashed the glass and, everything else just took care of itself.
Well, it's the second time he's done that. He won a game for us here recently with an offensive rebound on the free throw. So he gets a lot of credit for that. But, we played well enough to win. We have a lot of things we still got to learn, but they don't give in. That's the best part of them. They great character, and they keep playing.
Let's compare the stat sheet. When you take a look at it, it doesn't actually look like the Spurs won. Look at the shooting, 38-45%. 3-pointers made. The Spurs did do more than the Warriors on that front. But at the same time, free throws attempts, they got more attempts at the line, and they made more. Rebounding department, boy, the Warriors much better on the glass, 57-44. Elsewhere, including assists and steals. To show you, about even in the assist department, steal department, Spurs did better there. Turnovers as well. Spurs kept their down to 11, and the bench outscoring the Warriors there 47-34. 4. Spurs have some very important matchups this weekend. Victories are vital if they plan to make it to the postseason. The Spurs will face the Pelicans later this week, but first San Antonio will face Portland on Wednesday. These two teams have met but only once before on December the 2nd, a game where Portland did not have Damian Lillard, and the Spurs won big 114-83 on the road. After Wednesday's game, San Antonio will host Portland in back-to-back games to start off April. This may be the best time to gain some ground in the standings since Portland has lost 10 of their last 11 games. They're also missing Lillard, who underwent abdominal surgery in early January. Leading the Blazers through all of this right now is Josh Hart, who was traded from New Orleans last month. Since joining Portland, he's averaging almost 19.5 points per game. So here's a look at the latest Western Conference standings. Let's start at the top. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you see Phoenix is out in front, followed by Memphis now, who's jumped up ahead of Golden State, and Utah is at number 4. The second half of those standings right now, Dallas at number 5, followed by Minnesota, Denver, and the Clippers at number 8 for now. But when you take a look at the rest of the standings there, look at New Orleans has now moved up to number 9 with a win tonight against Atlanta. Lakers dropped to number 10. The Spurs still 2.5 back of both New Orleans and the Lakers now at number 11. Portland falls with 12, and Sacramento at 13. Here's a look at the Spurs schedule this coming week. Now, remember, they're going to spread this out because the AT&T Center is going to play host to the NCAA Tournament Sweet 16 this week, so they'll have to be out of town the rest of the week. So it's at Portland on Wednesday, at New Orleans, there you see, on Saturday to wrap it up this week. Second round of the South region, number 5, Houston taking on number 4, Illinois to start things off. Houston led by 4 at halftime, but Illinois tied it at 30 thanks to 19 points from Kofi Cockburn. He was the only one to score in double figures for Illinois. Houston then took off after that, outscoring their opponent 38-27 in the second half. Taze Moore scored a team-high 21 points. Houston won it 68-53. Sticking with that South region, 7, Ohio State against 2 seed Villanova. This one got close late after the Wildcats came out on fire. E.J. Liddell cut the lead to 5. Then the Buckeyes made it a 2-point game moments later with under 6 minutes to play, but Villanova would outscore Ohio State 11-3 after that. Colin Gillespie scored 20 points. Villanova wins 71-61. They'll next face Juwan Howard's Michigan Wolverines here in San Antonio. Let's take a look at the Sweet 16 matchups as tonight's games are wrapping up. So in the South, we'll take Arizona or TCU. They're still playing late in the second half. TCU has now gone in front looking to upset, and they'll play Houston on Thursday in the AT&T Center, the late game. The early game will be Michigan and Villanova Thursday night at 6:29. In the Midwest region, it looks like this. Number 1, Kansas is going to go up against Providence Friday at 6:29. Iowa State will go up against Miami. That should be a close one there. Almost a 9 o'clock tip time for that. In the East region, out of Philadelphia, North Carolina will take on UCLA Friday at 8:39. And in the early game, Purdue against the Cinderella team so far, St. Peter's, Friday at 6:09. And then again in the West region, Gonzaga, the number 1 seed, taking on Arkansas Thursday in the early game. Texas Tech, again, a winner over, and they'll take on Duke, number 2 Duke, who won today as well, Thursday in that late game. March Madness in the women's tournament, number 7 Utah taking on number 2 Texas in Austin late this afternoon. UT had no problems after the first quarter and led by 14 at halftime. Aaliyah Moore led the Horns with 21 points off the bench, started the second half. She scores the basket here, plus the foul, a 3-point play. Texas will lead by as many as 26 points, shot almost 64% from the field today. Texas wins 78-56. They will next face the winner of Ohio State and LSU, who play tomorrow night. Number 10, South Dakota taking on number 2 Baylor. This one was rough from the start for Baylor. The Coyotes outscored the Bears 16-4 in the first quarter. Just got worse from there. Baylor shot 31.5% from the field. They had 19 turnovers. East Central alum Melissa Smith scored 10 points, and only 1 teammate finished in double figures. South Dakota gets the upset with a 61-47 win over Baylor tonight. Time now for tonight's Instant Replay poll question. Do you think the Browns' trade for the Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson was a fair deal? A, yes, both sides got what they wanted. B, no, the Browns gave up too much. Vote now. We'll have the results at the end of the broadcast tonight. We have much more for you tonight when we come back. Which comedian is supporting one of our San Antonio teams? And no, it wasn't the Spurs. But first.
Opportunity here for San Antonio. Abu plays it into the backside of the 6. The head of the goal, they score!
3 different players have scored a goal for San Antonio FC in just their first 2 games of the season. Larry Ramirez will tell you why Saturday's road win was so significant. And the girls' soccer team from Jefferson High School wrapped up the district title. We'll have that for you in the digital dugout. Why are the Spurs having trouble winning must-win games? And what do you think of Deshaun Watson joining the Browns? And why have so many players left the Cowboys? The sports guys will debate that, and we'll be right back with our newest Scholar Athlete of the Week.